Hey guys, this week on Kombativ, we're testing out some of the most popular security weapons from the Kombativ.com website. But before we begin, if you just like this video and subscribe to our channel, that would be awesome. So how are you guys doing this week?
Super awesome. Excited for the holidays.
I am so exhausted. It's been such a long week. And I know everyone out there knows Ian and Amanda from the Karate Mart YouTube channel, but what you guys might not know is that they are some of the most incredible managers anyone could ever have. I mean, they've been pushing themselves so hard through the holiday seasons. In fact, Amanda, you were here until past 9 last night, like close to 10, I think.
Yeah.
Just shipping stuff out, grabbing stuff for customers, making sure that everyone gets their Christmas presents in time. So I just really appreciate that. If you guys could just tell them thank you in the comments, that would be awesome. But last week we reviewed a bunch of the most unusual weapons from the Kombativ.com website. This week we're going to review some security weapons that could be used for compliance purposes. So I asked Amanda to go back into the warehouse and grab some of our most popular security weapons. She's boxed them up for me so I don't know what they are. And as usual, there's links in the description of the video so you can find out more information on each of these products. But without further ado, Amanda, what is our very first item?
There you go.
Awesome, awesome. I love these little cases. Let's see what she's got for us first. And our very first weapon is the Urban Combat Baton. Okay. I love this weapon. Now, the thing that I remember so clearly about this weapon is if you go to the Karate Mart YouTube channel, the very first Weapons Wednesday video I did actually reviewed this weapon. The video is called Weapons Wednesday. I know, how creative is that? Don't go back and watch it because it's just absolutely cringy seeing me sit at a table reviewing these weapons. It's really bad. So don't go back and watch it, but I am excited to review this now that I know what I'm doing a little bit better. So let's take a closer look at this. So first off, we can see that it comes with this nylon holster with a belt loop, so we can hang it from the side of our body if we want to. But let's look at the baton itself. All right, check that out. That is cool. The thing that I notice so immediately with this baton is the grip on this thing. I mean, it kind of looks like something from an Alien movie or something, but you can see that we've got this kind of honeycomb grip underneath, and then there's this second layer of like X grip on there. And what's so great about that is if we try to grip it, it's kind of like an ergonomic grip. I mean, there's no way that someone's going to be able to pull this away from your hand. So that's pretty nice, and it's very, very comfortable. And then if we look at the pommel of this, we can see that there's this raised bump on there. So what's great about that is if we do decide to use this baton for something like a hammer strike, that little raised bump allows us to put a little bit more focus on whatever we're targeting. So that's pretty nice. But let's look at the baton itself. So this is approximately 10 inches when it's collapsed. And when we open it, it's approximately 26 inches. And the thing that's so great about this baton is that it's extremely heavy duty. The steel that they used has been hardened very well, and then it's a very thick steel. So this is going to hold up very well for you. In fact, let's just test it out a little bit to see how strong it is. I got this pumpkin right here. Let's give that a whirl. And I've got my safety glasses. All right, so let's start with the pumpkin. Just right here. Okay, that's a little messy. I'm also going to hit the Wing Chun dummy too, because that's an even harder, denser object. So be careful, Ian. Looks great. I mean, it did close on me because of the vibration, but that's kind of something to be expected. If I would have hit it out a little bit harder, that probably wouldn't have happened. Okay, it still happened. But when you close these, you just kind of hit them on the ground, and then it's nicely closed. And you can tell it didn't get bent at all. That thing's just set up to be an extremely powerful baton. So yeah, very, very cool. And then if we look, we can also see that there's this large knob on the end of it. And then again, we've got one of those little cones down there. So what's great about that is that allows you to really focus your power on one specific spot. So I like the shape of this little knob here. So as I mentioned, this is made from a very durable and strong heat-treated steel, so that's going to hold up for you very nicely. You can also tell that it does have this gunmetal finish on it, which is going to be great for corrosion resistance purposes. One thing I did notice while I was striking this Wing Chun dummy is that because of the way this grip is set up, it actually did a lot of shock absorption for my hand. So I didn't feel a lot of pain in my hand by striking something this dense. But one thing you should know is that if you are in a life and death situation and you do need to use a baton, there's certain areas of the body you want to use it on. You'd want to use it on the mandibular angle, possibly the temple, the back of the skull, the kneecaps, or the throat. So you're going to want to practice with a weapon like this. Now this weighs approximately 1 pound 6 ounces, which is very, very heavy when it comes to batons, but that's because the steel is so solid. But one other thing I really want to mention is just check your local laws, because the laws on batons can be very strict depending on where you live. But that's about all I have to say about this, so I'm going to go ahead and put this away. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and let's go on to our next weapon. So 1 second. All right, we got this whole place all cleaned up thanks to Ian and Amanda. Amanda, what is our next weapon?
There you go.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to need a knife for this guy. I will just grab this guy right here. A Karambit to open a box. Not the best choice of knife, but it worked. Ooh, this is an excellent choice, Amanda. All right, and our next weapon is the black tactical nightstick. I love this thing. I absolutely love this thing. So when I started the martial arts when I was a really little kid, the very first weapon they taught us was the tonfa, and then it went to the sai after that, and then to the staff after that. But I think the reason they teach tonfa first in a lot of schools and then sais after that is because tonfas are so great for doing things like kata in the martial arts. It's just an awesome weapon for that. But this is actually a nightstick, which the difference is a nightstick is generally used for compliance purposes by law enforcement, whereas a tonfa is used for martial arts purposes. So being that this is a nightstick, these are sold individually, which is important to know. So if you want to do tonfa techniques, you're going to need to buy 2 of them. So this is made from a virtually indestructible polypropylene, which I absolutely love. We see this material all the time on our different weapons, and it holds up so nicely. So I'm just going to strike this just a little bit. Yeah, I mean, that holds up so well. The other thing I noticed right off the bat is that it's got this kind of bulbous end down here that tapers into the standard size for the nightstick. So the reason that it has that bulbous end is that the added weight down here gives it a little bit more force when you're striking something. So let's just test that out. Yeah, definitely. Way more force. Yeah, I mean, look at this, Ian. You can see these big marks that I put into the Wing Chun dummy. That's all from the nightstick there.
Oh, that's crazy. They match, let's see this, they match the pattern.
Very cool. And speaking of that pattern, this is all grip that's been thought out very well based on how you're going to hold this thing. So if you're holding it by the handle, you've got good grip here that gives you a non-slip grip for striking that way. However, if we're going to hold it like here for these kind of strikes, we've got grip here, which is nice. We've got grip down here if we're going to strike with it like that. So all very, very well thought out. Another thing I love about this is we can see that we've got these glass breaker spikes here and here, which is so important because a lot of nightstick techniques are used like this. So you can see I'm putting some pretty big dings in this Wing Chun dummy. Or if we decide to flip it and go with the handle, that handle's going to do some major damage. So I love that aspect of this. Now the overall length of this is approximately 23.5 inches, which is perfect for me because that actually covers up my elbow just perfectly if I'm going to block. So great length for that. And it weighs approximately 15 ounces, which is an awesome weight for this weapon. But that's about all I have to say about this, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put this away, and let's move on to our next weapon.
There you go.
Thank you, Amanda. A small one. Okay. Let's see what this is. You guys ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Interesting. The black plastic training Karambit. That's an awesome choice. So the fact that Amanda brought me this weapon tells you just how good at her job she is, because this is honestly one of the best compliance tools you can possibly have. And you guys reviewed this on Weapons Wednesday like a couple months ago, didn't you?
Yes.
I think
But
it was
we just talked about training with it. We didn't talk about the compliance aspect at all.
Yeah. That's what's so interesting about that is people wouldn't know that, because when you look at this, you can see it's got this blunt edge here, and then you've got this big rounded ball on the end. So you assume that this would be used for Karambit training, which makes a lot of sense. This would be perfect for Karambit training. But this also works so well for compliance, and I'm going to show you why. But let's look at this first. So we can also see that it's got really nice grips here for your fingers. So if we're using it in reverse grip, very, very comfortable. There's some grip here too, which is nice. If we hold this in forward grip, the grip just fits our fingers just beautifully, and we've got a thumb rise here, which gives us a lot of control with this weapon, which is nice. So we've got this little ball here, which is perfect for pressure points. I mean, we could actually hit the pressure point right here in our hand, hit underneath the bicep. We could hit right here by the neck, which is just a great place. Could hit the mandibular angle, which is so painful. There's so many great pressure points out there. You just got to practice them a little bit. But one of the other things that makes this so great is if you are a bouncer or if you are a security person, which I used to be a bouncer in the Phoenix area, so I definitely know, you get bored. And this gives you a little fidget toy to play with. So, you can practice your stuff, you can spin it a little bit, grab it. But I just want to preface that by saying if you are a bouncer in a nightclub, you don't want to be sitting there spinning a Karambit. That's just going to look a little ridiculous and probably scare everyone out of the club. So not a great idea, but it's still fun to have when no one's around, just to kind of play with. But one of the things that makes this one so great is you've got this ring right here on the pommel. And that doesn't look like a normal ring, does it, Ian?
No, it's
that thing's
huge.
really thick, which is crazy. So there's a reason it's that way. So because it's so thick, that can be used for compliance purposes. So if someone were to grab you by the shirt or someone were to push you in the chest, you can use that ring and just dig into the center of their hand, just kind of grind up and down. And that is the most painful thing you'll ever feel. Test it if you want at home. Take something that's very hard and just kind of dig it into the center of your hand. You'll see it hurts so bad. And then also, you could also dig this into their sternum, right in the center of the chest. There's this little point that just hurts so bad if you dig that ring into it. So just an awesome, awesome tool. But if things got really bad and it became a life and death situation, you could also use this point in reverse grip and just dig into their neck. So definitely something you can do with that weapon. A very good weapon for self-defense, but you definitely need to practice with it. This is not a weapon you're just gonna be able to take out there and use for self-defense. You definitely need to practice with it first. Now it weighs approximately 2 ounces, so extremely light, and the length is approximately 6 3/4 inches with a blade length of about 2 3/4 inches. But that's about all I have to say about this, right?
That's a pretty cool one.
It's a really cool one.
I didn't realize it was also a compliance thing.
It's such a great compliance tool. I absolutely love it. But I'm going to go ahead and put this away, and let's move on to our next weapon. All right, Amanda, what you got next for me? All right, I'm going to grab a different knife instead of the Karambit. Ooh, I'm going to grab this guy because I like this guy. Okay, let's see what this is. You're doing a great job today, Amanda. Great choices. Okay. I take that back. Our next weapon is the Combat Stun Baton. So here's the thing. I knew Amanda was going to bring me a stun gun today, but I did not think she was going to bring us one of the strongest stun batons that's in back. So everything nice that I said about you today, Amanda, I take it all back. All of it. All right, so first off, this comes with a black nylon holster with a belt loop, so you can hang it from the side of your body if you want to. But let's check out the stun gun itself. Okay, this one's really cool. I actually really like this one. This is made from a very strong and durable aircraft aluminum, which makes it strong enough so that you can actually strike with it, but also light enough that it's going to be easy to carry around. You can see that it's got this textured grip on there, and then it's got a nice black finish, so it's very stealthy looking. And then we've got these teeth up here, which are great for protecting the electrodes on this stun gun, but they also provide you with an additional weapon. So for instance, let's say you're walking around at night, and I'm just gonna turn this guy on really quick. Okay, we've got a flashlight there. Let's say we're walking around at night, and we see someone coming towards us, and they're acting just a little bit shady. So we're a little nervous. So what we do is we hold up our flashlight, and we shine it right in their eyes, and we say, "Hey, what you doing, buddy?" And if they continue to come towards you and they're still acting shady and they're ready to strike, just keep blinding them in the eyes and bam! Right in the face with those little teeth. And that is going to do a lot of damage without actually using the stun gun. So that is an excellent weapon in itself. And then if you had to, you could also strike with the baton itself too. So very, very cool. One thing I should mention is that this has 3 different light modes. So the one you just saw was the dull light. Just going to hit the switch again. And now you can see I've got a strobe light on it, which is nice because that'll gather the attention of other people around you in case you need help, in case your car breaks down and you need to gather people's attention because of that. So very helpful in certain situations. And then we've got the bright light. So 3 different light modes. That's very nice to know. And then in between the light modes, when we click the button, you can see that the red light went on, which means that the stun gun is now engaged. So the manufacturer does not tell us how many volts this is, which I actually really appreciate because the manufacturers know that without the right equipment, it's very difficult to know how strong a stun gun actually is. So what they do is they choose a random voltage number that's similar to other stun guns that are around the same size. So what we like to do is we first like to listen to the crackle. That's usually a good sign of how strong a stun gun is. So let's see how strong this one is. Okay, that sounds terrible. And then the other thing that we do is we actually have someone stun me. Now I just want to state, if you are actually in a life and death situation and you need to use your stun gun, you're going to want to try to aim for the neck, for the groin, or for the center of the chest right around the heart. But here, because I don't want to fall down and cry, I'm going to have Amanda just shock me in the arm because that will hurt and that'll tell me how effective it is, but it's not going to knock me down. So, all right, Amanda, I'm going to hand this to you. And last time, I think it was 2 videos ago, she hit me right in the funny bone, which was terrible. So try to aim for right here in the tricep. Oh, gosh, please don't. All right, clear. Ow! Oh, it smells.
I was like, I think it's your hair
Oh,
burning.
I think you burnt the hair off my arm. Wow, that was really strong. That was a good one. Oh, it's getting red too.
She hit me, okay, because we did our video a little earlier, and mine still hurts.
Yeah, no, that's going to hurt for a little while. So I'm really glad she did it here and not here. That would have
Yes.
been bad. So the length of this is approximately 13.5 inches. It weighs approximately 12.4 ounces, which is a really good weight for this. It's not too heavy. And then it also comes with this little battery charger. So all you have to do is take out the batteries, throw them in that, and then you'll charge it right up for you. But one other thing I need to mention is just check your local laws because the laws on these things can be very strict depending on where you live. But that's about all I have to say about this, right?
That's it.
All right, go ahead and put that away. But if you guys could put in the comments this week which of these weapons you like best, that's valuable for me and Amanda so we know what you want to see more of in the future. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel and check out Kombativ.com because we've got all sorts of awesome weapons on there right now. But until next week, stay combative. But not so combative that you're just stunning random people around the streets or chasing people around with a tactical baton.